Welcome
You might lick it. So,
to In Love with Kimberly Michael. I am on scene at Bazaar, the only place that I actually visit outside of my home. So it may be like I'm with Bruce. He's been on the show multiple times. He's my drinking partner, and
who's like your water?
he's gonna drink my water until he gets a drink. Um, excuse the noise because it may be a little loud because we are literally outside of Bazaar. We're on 22nd Avenue in Birmingham. This is a black owned by Will Harville, and he is the dopest dude around. And we are drinking, and I'm in my feelings, and we are going to talk. First of all, if you're on here, subscribe, like, comment, and share the shit out of the show. Those are the 4 rules. You're welcome to come on at any time. Jay is going to watch the chat for me because I don't have access to my phone. And Amber's going to be over here soon. She's going to come on the show and we're going to talk.
Amber's a mess.
Amber's a mess. And we tonight are going to talk about accountability and ghosting. We're going to talk about the accountability we need to hold for ghosting people. That's what you say? Yeah, definitely. So.
Oh my God! Watch this! Watch this, y'all. Magic.
Magic. So, I could be very transparent, and normally I am, but I'm not going to be completely transparent. I'm just going to say that I need to have a conversation about ghosting. Jay's going to post a link in the chat. If you want to come on, you can. You do not have to hit your video. Just hit your audio and you'll be able to talk and we'll be able to hear you. If you want to come on video, that's cool too. But as you guys know, I talk a lot about accountability in women and how we are currently behaving as a collective group. And I think that maybe at this point that we're on an energy where we are reciprocating some ghosting. I'm just being honest. And I want to talk about why men and women ghost people. And when I mean ghost, I mean we're in conversation. We've had conversations for a couple of weeks, maybe, and then we're cool. We talking, we videoing, we sexing, whatever on video, whatever, and then all of a sudden. I don't talk to you. You don't talk to me. I stop talking to you. You stop talking to me. So I had a conversation with Gilly, which hopefully she'll show up soon. And she said that I get ghosted a lot, and that I get ghosted because I ghost. So it's the energy. It's what I'm putting out into the universe. So I decided that my responsibility and my accountability is I'm gonna tell you motherfuckers up front that I'm gonna go, that there's a potential for me to ghost you, right? So it's like any risk. If you buy a car and you're gonna be on the highway, then the risk is that there's a possibility of an accident. If you choose to drive and you're in an accident, you can't be upset about the accident. If you start talking to me, there is a strong possibility that I'm gonna ghost you. There's only 2 reasons I would ghost you. You're not the person for me, the person that God intended for me, or you have bad behavior. My particular age, 52, I should not have to have a conversation with you about your bad behavior. You have bad behavior, whatever that bad behavior is, I'm not going to be the responsible one to be like, you have fucked up behavior, you're doing this, you're doing that, and we need to talk. I'm not doing that. We are past that stage in our lives where we are growing together and learning together. At this age, you should know that you got bad behavior. If you hollering at somebody, if you upset with somebody, if you screaming at them, if you talking to them any kind of way, if you speaking to them any kind of way, there's nothing about that is okay. You know, as a grown ass man and or woman, and we all know that I speak for women only, I cannot speak for a man. You know that you have bad behavior. And especially to the women, you know when you are dealing with a man and he upsets you, if you start hollering and screaming and you getting in his face, I don't give a shit what your background is. I don't care about your journey. I don't care about where you're from. I don't care about your pain or your trauma. But what I care about is the behavior that you project onto that man. we as women continually talk about how we want this man and we want this man and we want him to be this and we want him to be that. But then we have no accountability for the behavior that we carry in looking for those particular men. We think because we get in their face, because we say whatever, and you know, I don't know about y'all, but I see women like, I'm using Bruce as an example. We doing this, we that. That's okay, because then you then acknowledge the pain that you came from that got you to the behavior. We cannot continue to do this. So I had a conversation with Gilly, again, hoping she comes on soon enough, where she said I was getting ghosted. I get ghosted a lot. Men will ask me
Tell
out.
me why.
I don't know. So I've been able to talk to a couple of people. So the two people that were honest enough to stand in front of me and have a conversation, this is the two things that were said. The first person said that I was intimidating because there are certain things about me that challenge men in a different way. And the other person told me I was rushing into a relationship. And so that's all I have to go on. I'm just being honest. I don't feel like I'm ghosting in the sense that people do, because Gilly said, you have to start telling these men. So instead of me being engaged with some of the men that I'm dating and talking to up front, my disclaimer is, at any point in this relationship or this conversation, long distance or otherwise, I may just not talk to you anymore. I may stop taking your calls. I may not take your videos. And there's two reasons. Because number one, you are not the person that I'm preparing myself for. And I have no desire to be in a short-term relationship. Or the second reason, you have bad behavior. And I have no desire to be in a relationship with a man who has bad behavior. At 52, at 50, in your 50s, especially, you got bad behavior, right? Don't you know that you have bad behavior? Don't you know that you're behaving in a manner that is not conducive with peace? Right?
Well,
I'm not. So I disclaim it up front. I could ghost you for these reasons. If you determine that what I'm saying to you, welcome Amber to the show. She's my newfound friend. And if you determine after I've disclosed that there's a potential for me to ghost you, and that is the risk that you are willing to take, I am not going to then just have a conversation with you after the fact about why I ghosted you. Again, there's two reasons. I tell you those two reasons, and you have to figure out whether you have bad behavior or whether you're just not the person for me, right?
I don't give a notice, because I never know when I'm gonna ghost somebody or not. I it's something that I do sometimes, but I never know like when it's gonna happen. So I don't give a notice, because I might not ghost you. And if you tell somebody that you might ghost them, it might kind of weird them out. So
and that is okay. I feel like I get that. And I feel like this. I don't know when I'm gonna ghost a motherfucker either.
But you just give them a notice anyway.
I give them the notice.
I like surprising people. That might be. I like surprising people. Okay, that's what it is with me.
And I say, and I'm gonna tell you why I give a disclaimer. Because don't call me after I ghost you. Don't text me. Don't email me. Don't inbox me.
So it's the conflict part for you.
I just don't feel at the age that I'm at and the healing that I've been through that I should have to explain to a motherfucker that you got bad behavior. Why do I need to talk to you about your bad behavior? I'm in my 50s.
You're right. People know they do wrong, but
guys,
I like cussing people out too. So that's what it is.
Look, no. We have an audience.
I like telling people.
So if you hear anybody from the background, we're gonna bring them in also. Okay? They don't choose to be on camera, but we're gonna bring them in also. And you know what? Now, this is the thing. I tell women this all the time. Ain't nothing like giving somebody 2 or 3 points.
What's the points?
No, 2 or 3 points meaning that men, we rarely think that deeply. So Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me why. Tell me what I did so that we can possibly, because you know what? We have a huge task in front of us. We have to fix this mess. Do y'all agree this is a mess?
It is a mess. It is a
We need to
mess.
fix this mess.
Generationally, it's a mess.
No, you know what? Because I'm so crazy. Because I think that anybody that meets a man can study that man, and he can study that woman, and we can be a pair. Look, I truly believe this, guys. Anybody that you meet can be yours
True.
if you study them.
It's about compromise and what's the other word I'm looking for?
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
And Amber's about to learn the real me and know how I feel about that. So
Amber's the big word, girl.
I'm an Eartha
Reciprocity
Kitt.
is a big word.
I'm an Eartha Kitt. I'm an Eartha Kitt lover, and there's a meme that goes around. I talk about this often, and she says, and I think it's misunderstood. She says, "Meet a man and compromise." Why the fuck would I do that?
I mean, I definitely feel
And
that.
this is what she means by that. Why should I decrease myself to then get this relationship going? I don't want you to love me because I'm loving you. That's capitalism. I'm loving you because I'm expecting you to love me back. I need to love you at the level that I love, and I need you to love me back at the level that you love. And if we determine that the level that we love is a balance and we can work with that, then cool. But I'm not going to compromise, which means I'm not going to decrease myself to make you happy. Because compromise means that you have a value that you are willing to adjust and lower to then make this value more important. I feel like if we become more patient with each other, we don't have to compromise. And reciprocity. So let's use it in love.
Being patient is kind of sort of compromising because you being understanding, and being understanding is a part of compromise because you know, like, okay, well, this person can't meet me here in this part, but they can do anything else. They can meet me, you know, where I'm at with anything else. So
she's talking about 80-20.
Yeah, wait, what?
80-20. That's what you're talking about.
What's your number?
What?
My number is 100 motherfucking percent. There ain't no 50-50 with me. You come to me 100% of your individuality, and let me bring my 100% individuality.
That's what I'm saying. So then together, y'all really make 100. I know what you mean,
yes.
But together, y'all really make 100.
That is true.
Just like your partner or whoever you talking to might fall short in some places, then I mean you do too because we are human. So it's really about just meet people where they at, period. That's how you really experience people. Just meet them where they are.
That is true. But when you're talking about a relationship and spending the rest of your life with someone, I don't need you to reciprocate my love. I don't need you to reciprocate what I'm giving to you. Let's talk about love languages, for example. People are like, learn your partner's love language, which is bullshit if you think there's 5 love languages for 7.9.
I mean, but I think everybody has all of them, though. Honestly, everybody got all of them.
True.
Tell me why. Tell me why love language is bullshit.
Love languages are bullshit because we should not be comparing ourselves to the next person and categorizing our love in 5 languages. I don't speak love in 5 languages. When I worship a man, I worship him with the way I talk, the way I move, the way I love him, the way I suck him, fuck him, feed him, and nourish him and encourage him. I'm feeding his fucking soil. I don't need you to reciprocate. I don't need you to reciprocate. I need you to show the fuck up exactly the way that I show up. You tend to my soil the way that I do, not because that's what you're reciprocating, but because that's the way you show up. We keep waiting for somebody to do what we do, and then we get fucked up in these relationships waiting for a motherfucker to act like we do. Just be patient and let a motherfucker show up that is you, that you balance each other. Why are we reciprocating our shit? I'm going to learn your love language and reciprocate you. Now I'm just doing your love language. I'm not doing mine. You feel me?
Look.
Make that make sense.
Let's talk for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's talk for 2 seconds.
No, you cuss me.
This our new friend. before she came, I was here with Kim, and the first thing she did was she sat down at the bar with me, and she had a sad face. And the first thing we did was what? We hugged. Hey Kim,
I had a sad face.
what do you have going on? And she told me.
Yeah.
So that's the name of this podcast, right?
I mean, it basically is
Listen.
because
What do we have to do to learn how to communicate? Let's communicate.
right. Let's not only communicate. Let's comprehend.
I'm gonna tell you
That's
why
the serious
I feel you on the love language.
No.
But
First,
I'm gonna tell you something.
who are you? Tell them who you are.
I'm Amber. How y'all
Amber.
doing?
Okay.
But
No. Tell us who you are.
oh, what else you want to know?
Amber.
I'm Amber.
Who is
Who's
Amber?
Amber? Who's she?
I am funny. I am beautiful. I am love. I am light. I am greatness. I am Amber.
All of those.
All of those
All
things.
those.
So I took by mistake a class in my senior year of high school. It was like a teaching class, and that's when I learned like about the different types of learners. Like people it's with audio visual, kinesthetic hands-on, and some other ones that I can't really think
No,
of.
that's fine.
But it made sense to me because everybody learn in different ways, just like everybody love in different ways. And I feel what you're saying about the love language is like love me, period. Like just love me. But everybody don't take information in the same way, so everybody can't do everything the same way.
Right.
And so I forgot where I'm going, but I'm kind of drunk.
That's all right.
But,
We forget all the time. Don't worry about it. Don't
Amber's
worry about it.
Go ahead.
We've been drinking a little bit.
but yeah, like I feel what you were saying about the love languages, but just like people learn in different ways and they accept information, they receive information in different ways, they learn information in different ways, they love in different ways, and they show love in different ways.
Absolutely.
And so back to what you were saying, it's just about finding somebody who's compatible.
Why
with
do you want me to reciprocate what you're giving to me? So let's just break.
You don't have to though.
No, you don't, because then you get the fuck on.
That's what I'm saying.
But let's break it down this way. So let's just say, for the sake of conversation, and we're going to use all three of us because I'm pro poly. So we're going to use all three of us just for the sake of conversation, right? Bruce loves this particular way. Amber loves this particular way.
I love the Libra way.
And I love, yes, she loves the Libra way. I love the Gemini way.
I'm hurt quickly because
and
I
Amber
love
loves the Capricorn way, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now
Don't do that.
her love languages, you are supposed to learn your lover's love language. I need to learn Bruce and I need to learn Amber.
I mean, if you want to love me, then I feel like you would put the effort in. I'm a Capricorn, so I appreciate effort.
Okay.
So yeah, so you will put the effort in to learn me.
So listen to this.
I'm listening.
This is what happens. We talk about reciprocation as if it's a great word because Lauryn Hill came up with a whole song and when am I gonna get some reciprocity and all that, and everybody was like, yeah, bitch, when are you gonna? So let's talk about it like this. Amber loves this way. I love this way, and Bruce loves this way. Amber shows up, and y'all say to me, you need to reciprocate the way that Amber loves and the way that Bruce loves. So I step out of my own love language, and I reciprocate hers, and then I reciprocate his, and now I love them the way that they love, but now I've decreased myself to love them.
No, but we gonna love you how you need to be
loved. How about I just wait for a motherfucker to love me that way anyway? How about that?
Listen, ladies.
But nobody can know unless you show them, unless you tell, unless they spend time with you, unless you tell them something. People gotta learn to love you anyways. They gotta learn what you know.
Can I be a man?
Yeah.
Can I be a man?
Yeah, be a man.
Listen, you know what? When a man slows down and listens, that's called an invitation. When I stop what I'm thinking, because I'm bullheaded, I promise you I want it the way I want it. When I stop and slow down and I listen to you, I want you to get it the way you want it. But at the same time, I'm going to hear you. I'm going to digest it. And we're going to talk later, right?
No, we don't talk.
How easy or hard is that?
Yeah, we should talk. In my opinion, we should
No,
talk now because
no, you know what? No, no,
I might,
Right
I
now.
might forget what you said, and I might misconstrue some things.
You know what, y'all? Listen,
Because I heard,
I don't care how old
look,
you are.
you said one thing, but I might have heard it a different way. So
Listen,
we need
no,
to
no,
talk
no.
now.
You know what?
Clear it
Okay,
up.
okay, look, okay. Let's talk about 1 through 12.
What's that?
What's 1 to 12?
From the first,
Y'all got a lot of numbers. 80, 20,
from
1 to
kindergarten, from kindergarten to 12th grade. Look, this is what we forget.
From kindergarten through 12th
From
grade.
kindergarten to 12th grade through college. You know what we had to do?
Listen to a
We
white
had to
education
no.
curriculum.
No, I don't care what. Look. We had to listen to him.
Who is him?
Who's him?
Whoever him is.
White folks that made the curriculum.
We had
Him at the door.
we had to listen. We had to process. We had to write a study based on what he said, and we had to present. We got away from that, man.
Of course
No,
we
no,
did.
no. It's not wrong in a lot of cases.
Isn't it?
No, you know why? Because you know what? Though, look, we forgot how to listen, process, write a study.
I don't know if we forgot to listen. I think they didn't teach us how to comprehend, and that's where we're lost now.
No, the
we don't comprehend each other.
the study and the writing is the comprehension.
Is it?
Because you know what? Because if you have to write a 10-page essay on a subject, what you really don't understand is whether you wrote it down just to get a grade or not. Look, think about it, King. If you wrote a 10-page essay and you got an A, regardless of whether you received that shit or not, you wrote the right shit down to get an A.
Because you memorized what
you wrote the right shit down to get an A, whether you got that A and said fuck this shit or not. Right?
But you memorized something that was being taught to you. School at this point is memory. So they want you to memorize what you are teaching, what they're teaching to you. Because there's nothing to comprehend, because what they're giving you in the education system is falsities and lies. It is not accurate. They're not there to teach you to find your own truth. Just not like they're there to teach you to find your own spirit.
Y'all
and
ever heard of what is it,
Montessori?
Montessori learning or teaching or whatever. I just looked into that. I don't want to get married, so I really don't think I want to have kids either. But it's life, so I might slip up. Just in case it happens.
And look, and regardless of what you say, I don't know a man who doesn't want to see to follow him. Regardless of what they tell you about the black man.
Let's be clear.
I want 30 children to say Bruce Craig.
I used to want
Bruce
at
Craig.
least 8 kids. I used to want a lot of kids.
Custom suits. Come see me. Hey, I want 20 people to say Bruce Craig in the future.
You want to be George Foreman?
Hey,
listen.
Hey, am I lying?
Let me say this.
I want so many people to say Bruce Craig.
If Bruce Craig is broken and traumatized, then you saying that you want 20 seeds to then go out and reciprocate the energy that you have taught them, then we are only diminishing the energy that those men can then be. You feel me?
Tell my truth. Thing. You know what? Look, my daddy raised me, he fed me, he clothed me, but he had some shit that was broken. Look, I'm gonna take what that man gave me that was good, and I'm gonna push forward with this shit.
But you are not the norm, because most black men don't even have their daddies.
Hey, look.
And not only do they not have their daddies, they don't have their granddaddies, they don't have their uncles, and they don't have their brothers anymore. What they have is a toxic woman who contributes toxic masculinity that has been generationally passed down to them, and now they are in this toxic environment. I understand that men want to procreate and they want to create, but they need to create in a healing environment where they can explain and honor who the fuck they are as men, especially black men right now.
I don't think we do healing well. You know what? I think men do movement. I think we do forward.
Why don't you do healing well?
Because you know what? If a man and a woman gets together, my job is to keep the train moving.
And the woman's job is to nurture, but we have lost that.
To get the cold.
We have lost our nurturing value.
A train need cold.
Yeah, but we can't give you coal that we don't have when we fucking think we supposed to provide the coal. We're not providing the coal. We just giving you the coal. You provide the coal, and then we take what you have given us as our spiritual leaders, and then we nurture you to where you need to be so that you can be the men that you were intended to be. But we have shown up generationally with toxic masculinity. This is where where the toxic masculinity comes from, is us women carrying that energy generationally, and then we show up like this, and you're gonna do what we say. No, baby, I'm gonna do what that man it leads me to do, so that I can release the shit. You cannot break that. You can't be afraid of that.
All right,
however, they got a Honda element. Okay,
so we have an outsider. We have he's not on film, but he's not gonna come on.
In so many situations, there are places where families, where if you've already illustrated that there are most men who don't have a male figure in the household. However, we were also taught by that mother, whether it was black and or white, to keep on with life. That mother never stopped and addressed that emotional issue. She never went to counseling for that. So it was taught also from the mother's aspect to that son. So it is not just because the father is absent. It's also because the mother never took the initiative to get that psychological, that emotional, that spiritual guidance or help that is needed to pass down to that seed.
But it's hard to do that too when you gotta work and you gotta take care of your children.
But we're not leaders, and that's the problem. Yeah. We are not the spiritual leaders of the household, and we have lost that.
It's a shortage of men who I ain't gonna say women in general, who I would submit to. Person.
Oh my God. We just spun it off.
It's a shortage of men that I would love out loud. It's a very
so let me say this, because I get a lot of slack for this. And Bruce is here, and we got some off-camera people that don't want to be on, and that's fine. And he's been around me enough in my presence to know.
I love him.
But he's been enough in my presence to know. And I don't give a damn.
Look, he's a giant.
He is a giant. And I don't give a damn. And we have to this is the accountability as women. We cannot keep saying, I don't do this because a man don't do this, because it's either excuses or it's result. The men were fucking forcefully and brutally taken from our communities. And for us to get them back and get in the nurturing stage, we need to say, in spite of what the men are doing, in spite of what they're doing, I'm gonna fucking show up as that feminine woman.
But
I'm gonna show up. Who can't?
No. You can't give a child both. You can't give them the feminine and the masculine.
This is my point. And I'm gonna use me as an example. I'm gonna be transparent. I'm gonna use me as an example. I cannot show up.
Kim, be careful. Be careful.
I'm gonna show up, and I say this. I have 3 miscegenated children. And I can give them all the knowledge that I have, all the wisdom that I have. And baby, look, I have worked hard and I have challenged myself repeatedly. I hold myself accountable, and I am learning to walk in the wisdom, which is knowledge applied. You can know all the fucking shit you want to know, but if you don't use what the fuck you know to be a better person and a better human, it means nothing what you know. I show up as much as I can in my kids' life. I can give them all the knowledge I can give as a woman, as a mama. I can tell them the dopest shit ever. But what I cannot do is show up as a black woman in their life and speak to the blackness in them. That is my deficit. It is my deficit. It is a fact, and it is a truth. Just like I cannot show up in my son's life as a black man, because I do not and nor have I ever, nor will I ever have a dick. I can't do what a black man needs to do in the black community. I'm not negating that there are not single mothers who have raised exceptional black men. But what I'm saying to you that the lack of the black man in the community, we cannot replace that as women, and we need to stop fucking acting like
Well,
we
I
can.
can't say that truly because white women would be a difference to that rule because Tiger Woods' mama was white. Barack Obama mama was white. You expose, even though you can't teach them a certain segment of the community, there's a whole nother segment of the community that you do expose them to, and you do catapult them to where they can perhaps bring up a whole nother generation of folk that look like them to the table.
Okay, so check this. So this is what I'm going to speak to. Jay, can you? Oh, I can't see Jay's chat, but I'm hoping that you can.
Jay,
Can you hear them in the background?
Can you hear, boy? Can you hear?
He'll tell us in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, he's good.
You can't. Okay, cool. Okay, so here's what I say to that. Well, I'm gonna get shit for this. I'm gonna get shit for it.
No.
I'm gonna say this.
You don't get shit for truth.
Barack Obama didn't show up black in the White House, and let me tell you why. This is just me. No,
I wasn't ready for this shit. Go ahead.
This is just me. If Barack Obama would have showed up in the White House as black man, this is the conversation we would have had. If another motherfucker, you white motherfucking police, shoot another motherfucking brother in the street, I'm gonna line your ass up on live TV and I'm gonna shoot your ass back in front of everybody.
Wow.
And I'm gonna hold you accountable for your white mindset, for the white mindset that you have generationally created and the white mindset that you keep creating. But how he showed up was how he was supposed to show up for the people
If I had
that really showed up.
If I had $1 for every time I had to go home a little bit less of a black man than I was. Now, that took no fight out of me. But sometimes I have to. Hey, look, the audience, look at the audience. Look at the audience out. If I had $1 for every time I had to show up a little bit less than what I was. But my most important part of every day is to keep my family moving. Hey, you gotta say hey.
But that's not okay. Say hey, say hi.
Say hey.
Say hi. He's just walking by.
Come on.
I'm actually on a little bit of a tour.
You're on a tour?
I'm on a tour right now.
Oh, what's the tour?
So right now there was a couple of signs where my ancestors walked down here.
Who are your ancestors,
So
if you don't mind?
My grandmother had walked with Dr. King. I don't think this was the exact route, but I was
It's that way. Fourth Avenue.
it's back that way. I decided this is kind of where my journey was taking me. So
And here you are. A perfect example.
cool.
Hey,
Perfect example. What's your name, baby?
My name is Jerry.
Hi,
You gonna be on
Jerry.
this side over here.
I'm gonna be on that.
And what's your
You gotta cover
ethnicity
this,
because we're right now we're in the middle of an ethnicity conversation.
Yeah,
So
no, I'm black and white. Black and white.
Black
My
and
dad
white?
is my dad is white. My mom.
okay.
But I'm Nigerian. I thought I'm Nigerian. Literally like maybe a year and a half ago.
You black.
So I've been learning how to cook up some stuff and
That's what's up.
yo,
So you're learning your
So
culture.
you went to
You're
get
learning the culture.
that part of you.
yeah. Well, I'm learning about that part of me.
Were you raised
Wow.
in the predominantly white side of your family then, or the predominantly black side
I mean,
of your
so
family?
I had both sides with me.
Yeah.
My black side and my white side. But I guess I didn't know a ton about like where either side came from. But I think right now my dad is from Wales and my mom's side is from Nigeria.
Nice.
And so I'm
Wales
learning
is
about
nice.
kind of
That's
both.
exciting,
Yeah,
actually.
it's
Are you
just really
excited about that?
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those things where it's like I've got a ton of history to like kind of dig up and find out and learn about myself. And yeah.
Who were you raised by predominantly?
Both. Yeah, my parents.
Oh,
together.
they were together. And did they speak on both sides of your ethnicity while you were growing, or was there more push towards one end or the other?
All right, I'll be honest with you.
Fun?
Please be honest.
My mom's not gonna watch this. My mom can't cook chicken. So like, there's a whole lot of like.
You're Nigerian, mama can't.
I'm
Plus, my mom
Nigerian,
can't
cannot cook chicken. Nor can she cook greens. Don't. If she's
What they
watching
don't,
this right now.
they don't eat
No.
No
stuff
offense,
like
mama.
that,
No
though, in
offense,
Nigeria.
because it takes.
No.
You gotta. It's a thing to cook greens. You gotta learn. You gotta
Yeah,
learn.
I don't think. I think a lot of my stuff.
So who's from Birmingham? I don't know. You got Nigerian ones.
Hey,
Like,
hey,
how the
hey,
hell
hey,
they
hey,
got
grandma.
Birmingham,
He said his
UK.
grandma. He said it's his grandma.
Talk about it.
Don't-
You gotta
don't-
talk
Birmingham,
about it. I
UK,
gotta-
okay, but Birmingham,
Oh my
Alabama, no,
God.
I don't understand
look.
that one.
We're on live. Is that okay? Is that
Are you
okay?
okay?
Yes, mama, not gonna
Look.
watch this. You can sit
And
down.
then look.
Hey, hold on. Hey, but listen,
Look
before
at
we
this
get
young
to that,
handsome man.
Okay.
because I don't want to lose my
Question.
train of thought.
Okay, don't come.
Because I done kept this for a minute.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, now Kim, now you know I love you, to death,
I know
right?
you do.
All
I
right,
know
but
you
I gotta jump in this water.
love
No,
my
I
baby
want you to.
All right, I
I
gotta
want you
jump
to.
in.
It's important.
Because to have the notion that just because you have black skin and you're sitting in the White House, you have to use language to the detriment of messing up an entire country, to the fact where you have to use
Oh my God.
hold on, to
where?
single out or phrase out a country is not only beneath my culture, but it's beneath my skin color. So Barack Obama, by him being the president, that does not mean that he has to degrade himself as a human being to make himself seem above all, because it wasn't a black man that signed the Voting Rights Act. It wasn't a black man that signed the Fair Housing Act. It wasn't a black man that signed the Women's Right to Vote Act. It wasn't a
Period.
black man that signed the poverty the minimum wage act. So the fact that white people can get a pass at being non-aggressive and still getting shit done, but because you the black man, you supposed to come in with this Samuel L. Jackson motherfucker demeanor that's it's subjective, it's offensive, and it's kind of weird.
And I
Because
feel like a
we
lot of
should
people
not
expect
ever
him
be
to.
categorized as just because of a culture that we're supposed to come in aggressive.
You don't know
No.
that.
Okay, and
As a
and
black and white,
I love you and I appreciate
Do you?
you. And let me say it from a white person's perspective. If I had been if y'all are the
Yeah,
you
and
are.
you know it.
You
She should
I
be
know
touching
you
everybody's phone.
No,
If the motherfucker
But he
rings, she
could
just
belong
answer.
to
If
me.
a
He
text
could.
message
He
come up,
could.
she
He
read the
could.
text
Have
message.
the short
He could. He could.
She
So
replied to the
that
text
part,
message. She
yeah.
sent emojis.
So
Fuck.
here's how I feel. This is I didn't need him to be aggressive. But if tomorrow a motherfucker vote me in, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come on like this. Let me get my phone. Hello, I'm the president of the United States, and the next motherfucking white cop that murders a black man in the street, I'm gonna I'm gonna take your ass.
But you don't have the authority.
The House and the Representatives
Don't know.
allow you to do it.
Because there's certain other people that
The president does not have
because
the
the
authority.
last white motherfucker that came in did whatever the fuck he felt like doing.
All the things that Trump did. Yeah, most of it. That's why I got impeached. Because he just did shit without people
He came
permission.
in and did whatever
But-
he wanted to do.
But
I don't want him to be aggressive.
Barack Obama did what 43 other presidents could not do. And this is including a president who was in a Democratic surplus.
Why did he do it?
He got that health insurance accountability bill. He got that
This
shit
ain't
passed.
about this ain't about health
Well,
insurance.
if your health don't matter, nothing else matters.
But let me just say this, and again, we love each other, y'all. Y'all
Oh,
can't see me,
absolutely,
but we love each other. We rapping, okay? Let me say this. This is not about your health. This is about black people not having a system that supports them. It does not matter on what avenue. Everybody wants to fix the system. They want to integrate into the system, and the system was not created for black folks. Black folks were not even considered a human person at that time, and you still aren't per law. You and again, if I'm president, I'm saying this. We gonna show the fuck up. It's not aggression. It's fucking sick and
That's
tired.
what a lot of people expected from him. A lot of people expect him to get in there and do it. And so
Trump did it and nobody said
because
shit.
Trump is a white man. You know, white men got free reign.
Exactly.
Also, people will also sugarcoat and sugarcoat this. But I want to be very
Trump was
clear.
wilding though.
I think it's been
I
shot
can
to
be-
hell, by the way.
I can be very clear and on the record. There is no president in the history of presidents that can raise the cost of inflation to this point in a year. This shit was not done under the Biden administration. Trump is totally responsible.
And if
for
anybody
all
knows
of
the
this.
financial system and how it works, it isn't about one man being in charge of shit. With that being said,
I study economics.
I
The
love it.
president is a scapegoat and a placeholder. That's all.
Jerry
That's
Jerry studies economics, so let him break this shit down for you. Let's. Are you on camera?
It's like a podcast.
Oh, it's a podcast.
Yes. So Jerry studies economics, and he's going to break down the economic system so that we don't think that we're confused by what president is doing what.
Enjoy.
So it's more than just presidents.
It is.
It is.
Kim.
Same bird, though. Agreed? Same bird. Right wing, left wing. Same bird.
Hey, did you guys hear me?
When the Republicans get into office, they have specific policies that go in a specific direction. And so the other side, when they decide that they get into office, have to, for their sake and for the constituents that are underneath them, have to change things in the complete opposite direction. And anytime you're doing that massive shift very quickly, bad things happen. But what really blows my mind, and anybody who's been to college and understands these things economically or financially, is why they choose to do it so fast, because it's 100% guaranteed that you can't. If your ship's moving that fast, something's going to break, or something's going to dissipate. Right. But the Democrats have always believed in able tax and be able to. They're heavy with the percentages of like what they need to be able to garner from the American people. So we already knew going in that this is beyond anybody in economics, beyond anybody.
Hey, Kim.
They don't know what's going on. They don't understand why. Simple things like the oil the pipeline that is deciding not to open up that would have a massive impact for a lot of American citizens and release a lot of the protection of the gas pumps. That makes sense. So there's a lot of like confusion and a lot of like misunderstanding as to who that.
About that VSOB season 2? Shit, I'm on my way right now. Spain. That's that show right there. Y'all better tune in. Make sure y'all subscribe. And hit that motherfucking like button. I'm tired of y'all sitting there watching the show and not hitting that like button. Alright, I'm almost there. I'll see you at the show, baby. VSOB season 2! Ah! Sponsoring ourselves. Come on, Savage Cobb, entertainment, baby. Be savage in this bitch. Ow. Savage Cobb. About that VSOB season 2? Shit, I'm on my way right now. Spain. That's that show right there. Y'all better tune in. Make sure y'all subscribe. And hit that motherfucking like button. I'm tired of y'all sitting there watching the show and not hitting that like button. Alright, I'm almost there. I'll see you at the show, baby. VSOB season 2! Ah! concern ourselves.